welcome everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Broken Chains podcast. My name is Brian Ricks. I'd like to thank y'all for coming in and showing up today. This is probably going to be my first real broadcast. We are actually going live right now. So, what I want to do is I want to do like weekly sessions with different questions and stuff like that. And today I want to talk about, like something a lot of us deal with in recovery. We call it the first 90 days. And today I want to bring in somebody. She's like a little baby sister. She's actually somebody that I've been walking this road to recovery with. So I want to add my baby sister, Rayven. Let's see if she's here.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's good,
Okay.
sis? So, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, sis.
Well, my name is Rayven. I've been clean for 6 months.
Whoop whoop.
Longest I've ever been clean in my 25 years of addiction. I've
Okay.
always smoked something.
Okay. I know that feeling all too well.
Yeah, yeah. But I do my meetings, and I know without my meetings I would not be sober. Like, I used to not like meetings because I went to Hoover. And I was like, oh my God, they're shoving meetings down my throat. But like, I felt like I needed the meetings shoved down my throat because when I got out of Hoover, I got more like adapted to meetings. So now I go to Wolf Street every day for my brown bag. And like, it's my family, that not my blood family, but it's like I'm around a group of people that understand like who I am. Like, because I've done a whole lot of stuff, but then I go there and I'm like, well, they've done, basically stuff I've done, if not more stuff. So it's like, it's really welcoming there, you know.
Right. So I have to ask, what's the brown bag?
Okay. When I first went there, I'm fat. So I was like, brown bag. I thought about Sonic. I was like, I'm finna get some food in a brown bag. I'm going to this meeting.
Right.
I don't know why it's called brown bag, but it's like one of the like loudest and just like rawest meetings they have at Wall Street. So it's
Okay.
like we get loud in there, we talk about stuff, we laugh, like that hour goes by so quick. It's not like one of them boring meetings where you just sit there and gotta be quiet and just talk about it. It's ain't nothing wrong with talking about God and Jesus, but it's not like the whole thing. Because like in that meeting, it's like you find your own higher power. It don't have to be same God I believe in. Whatever higher power you got helps you work your recovery. So it's like it's a real raw meeting that I
Okay.
love it. But they
All
don't give you
right.
no brown bags of food though. But they give you oatmeal cream pies and free coffee.
Your big back self was mad, wasn't you? You thought they had
I was like,
Sonic up
brown
in this
bag
piece.
special? What?
Right.
No.
So, okay. So I was thinking about, I remember what my first 90 days was because I was actually lucky enough to go through like a reentry recovery program while I was in detention.
Yeah.
And but even when I left there, I went into a treatment facility, and
Mm-hmm.
it's different when you're not like separated from everybody else. You know what I mean? Like there's bars, there's doors. You don't
Yeah.
have that freedom to go. And so I found myself at a treatment facility, and lucky enough though, it was a long-term place because that's what I needed. So I want to know what your first 90 days was like. Because like you said, you did 25 years of addiction.
Yeah.
So, that 90 days.
Whew. Well, two of the 90 days was in county jail. Um,
Right.
and I couldn't go to CSR now because I got one escape charge and they just started tripping. So
Right.
I had to stay in C unit. But it's crazy because I've been to jail a whole lot, and like I've people get out, I'm not gonna get high no more. Every time I was locked up, I was like, I'm not finna lie, I'm getting high when I get out. I don't care. But it was like
Right.
something about this last time when I got locked up, man. It was like I'm done, and I feel like it don't matter how many times you go to jail, how many times you go to rehab. If you're really not ready to be done, it's just not going to work. Because meth is a mind thing, man. Like like, opiates is a body, withdrawal, but meth is a freaking mind withdrawal. And that's
Right.
really, I feel like that's a lot harder than a body withdrawal. But man, the first 2 months I was there, I was around girls, people snorting pills and all that, but I stayed away from it. And then I had 3 different bonds out of 3 different courts, and I got accepted to Hoover while I was in jail. And they gave me a bed, and I went to court, and I got OR'd to go to Hoover. So I got court ordered to go to Hoover, but you know how my mind used to be, they don't lock them doors at Hoover. I could have walked out whenever I wanted to, and y'all gonna have to come find me. But it was just it was just something about this last time, man. I was just so sick of myself and just done, man, because like it was bad. Like I was sleeping in bandos. I lost my house, my kids. I lost everything. I've always had I at least always had a house and a car. I didn't have nothing. People were stealing my clothes. I didn't have nothing.
Oh yeah, I know that feeling.
So I went to Hoover and graduated Hoover, and then I got accepted to this place called the Dana House. Now when I first got to Hoover and I had that little freedom, it was hard at first, because I learned in rehab that you can actually be addicted to like living on like criminal behavior, like living on the streets. Like that's what I was like addicted to, man, because I'd be in my bed at the sober house, and I'm just like really trying to fight the urge to go run the freaking street. Like I just felt like I was gonna miss something. I needed to be on the street, being in folks' business, and it took me a while to get out of not wanting to just run the streets all the time.
Right.
But I stayed in there until January, and I got my own house, and it's just like it took me till about January to actually be like, okay, I can be out here and stay sober. And then from a Christmas break, I went to Jacksonville just to, I guess I was testing myself. And I was out there for 3 days, and I was around people smoking, but I didn't even have the urge to do that stuff, man. So I was like, I actually am done with this stuff. And it still surprises me because I never thought I'd be able to get sober. I didn't. Like, I just thought this was my life. This is what I'm meant for. I lost my kids. I'm not supposed to be happy. I'm just supposed to, self-pity party.
Yeah.
It's all about myself.
Well, it's ironic that you say that because a lot of times, I ask because of where I work at, we have a lot of repeat offenders, and I ask them, like, why is that first 90 days so hard? And I had one guy tell me that, freedom was scarier than prison.
Yeah.
Because you got some people that have done so much time in incarceration that they've created a lifestyle, just like that lifestyle of addiction of choice, this, that, and the other. However, when it comes to doing the next right thing, I guess that, like you said, methamphetamines, opiates, fentanyl is such a mind-altering substance that it warps, for lack of better terms, the way a person processes normalcy. Why do you think that is?
It's like that drug. It gives us. It's like we're allergic to that, man. It's an allergy that turns into a disease, and once it gets to that point, you don't know how to get rid of it. But but I understand, freedom being harder than prison because like when I was in county, it's different when you don't have no choice but to stay away from it. I didn't like being told what to do and stuff, but I knew in jail I didn't have a choice. I knew in rehab I didn't have a choice. And when I got out of rehab, I was in freedom, and it scared me. I was like, man, I need some structure. I need somebody right here to make sure I don't do nothing wrong because I'm not good at making decisions on my own right now. My decision-making skills are just out the window, obviously, because I'm a huge repeat offender.
Yeah.
And it scared me, man. But like, I used to hate structure. I used to hate, police and all that stuff. But I was like, I need somebody to hold me accountable for my stuff, because if I'm let out on my own, it's not, I get to straying off and charges happen. And then I'm in jail praying to God. That's the only time I pray to God. God, if you get me out of here this time, I promise.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to do it again.
Look, I've said that so much, I'm surprised it's not a scripture. You know what I mean?
Right. But I learned that that's part of our addiction. That was our insane mind frame. Like we was doing we were insane, like doing the same shit over and over again, thinking, oh, this time, It's gonna be different. I ain't gonna shoot it. I'm just gonna smoke it. I'm not gonna smoke it. I'm just gonna snort it. You know, I'm different than that user because I don't shoot it. Like, no, it's not. It's all the same thing, man. It messes your mind up. And me being 6 months, like, it's still like I feel my mind getting clear, but I still have my days to where I'm like, man, I wonder if I just went and hit it one time, just take the little edge off. But I know myself, and so yeah, it's my addiction talking to me. Your
Right,
addiction will
right.
tell you real quick, girl, you got this. You've been clean 6 months. Just smoke it and put it down. You be all right. But I can't. I do too much.
Yeah.
Like, my kids used to call me D1 Crash Out and DJ Do Too Much because ain't just one hit for me. No, I don't know what they got going. I'm a drug addict. Ain't no one hit. I get that shit or that stuff in my system. Ain't nobody gonna be able to find me for 3 days.
Yeah. No, I rightfully understand. You know, like for the longest, I used to have that can't get right mentality.
Yep.
Like I see it. And you know, like now, the longer I've been in recovery, it's the clearer my perception gets.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it wasn't the prison, you know, being easier than staying sober. It was the shock of it.
Right.
You know, you know, when you've been doing something for so long, it becomes a habitual response. You know,
Yeah.
like this generation, you know, we old enough, sis, to where we used to walk up to people, shake their hand, and ask them how they doing, and they would literally say, "I'm doing fine" or "I'm not doing okay." And now these kids got this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Well, where your mama at?
9 o'clock at night, and you sitting outside with the street lights on. We didn't have that. But
No.
but it's that shock now of we are free.
Yeah.
Not just from addiction, but we're free from the disease of choice.
Yeah.
We're free because, you know, addiction to me, and this is just me and I view addiction as any act repetitively
Mm-hmm.
that pulls you away from your responsibilities, things you have to. So I understand some people say, you know, my name is so and so, and I'm an addict. But I'm one of those people that if I say it, I'm going to manifest it. So if I
Right.
sit here and keep saying that, hi, my name is Brian and I'm an addict, I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just speaking on me and that I'm one of those people, so a man thinks, so a man is. So I have to be conscious. And when that sensation, that shock of freedom came,
Mm-hmm.
man, I was so lucky that I was in a place because, like I said, I've been doing drugs for over 30 something years. And I knew that 30-day wasn't going to hit it. You know, luckily I was in the program for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then I actually got to go to a treatment facility long term, 9 to 12 months.
Yeah.
And it gave me this structured, like, it's the shock of freedom. It's that shock that I get to make that choice.
Yeah. And it's the shock of freedom, and also the shock that I'm actually like being a law abiding citizen. I'm not, yeah, I was free then, but like I was out doing stuff I had no business doing. Like it's like little things I've noticed. Like now that I have my own house, I actually cook. I like.
You can cook.
I'm not big for no reason, Brian. Like I cook, I make my little. Well, sometimes I make a bed. I'm not gonna lie, but it's like just the little things and like sitting in the house. But I learned in rehab, like when I like first being in this house was like driving me crazy. But it's my peace. Like I have peace now, and I have to get used to that. Like I don't need to be in this chaotic lifestyle and just have to show my face everywhere because me having street cred didn't get me nowhere but to county. Like that's the only thing the streets are gonna get you is the name and county, and that's not the name you want to have. Like I have such a bad reputation when I go to Jacksonville. It's ridiculous. They know my first name and county. They don't call me Jones, they call me Rayven. Like, but it got to the point to where like, and that's another reason why I was like, I gotta stop, man, because I would go to county and be happy because them guards would actually give me positive talks and feedback that I wasn't getting from nobody else. They would tell me like, Jones, you're better than that. I see something in you. Stop doing this. You can help people. Like, quit. And they would. So I would end up going to jail just because I miss my I miss my COs. I'm trying to get that positive talk real quick. I need to see my people.
Right.
It was.
I understand that. So structure, because that's one thing about you and I that we have in common. Even when we were in the muck of our addiction, there was still a structure around it.
Yeah.
And how has having structure back in your life really helped you now compared to maybe the previous attempts or the previous times that you tried to get to where you are now?
I think it goes back to what, me saying that I actually wanted to do it, because all them other times I didn't really want to. I was like, I'm finna get out. And then, okay, when I started stealing cars and I found out I can get OR'd out, my sick mom was like, oh, I can get OR'd out for stealing cars. It's over with.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I'm finna get OR'd out. I'm gonna go steal another car. I'm gonna go get high, and I'm just not gonna get caught this time. But every time, I would do that. But now that I actually don't want to do it, and I got people in my life like Wolf Street, my sponsor, my peer specialists, I got them, and you that I can call and, give me that structure to remind me like, yeah, some days it sucks, but the payoff of it at the end, I know is going to be like so beneficial, and I'm going to feel like I've actually achieved something in life other than trying to be the best drug dealer in Jacksonville. Like there's not nothing good that comes out of that. Stop, Athena. But yeah, structure. I definitely need structure, and I didn't think I used to have, like I was so big on bucking the system and stuff. But I need that. I need people to be on me and make sure I'm doing right, and answering people and taking accountability, and I'm okay with that now. Like all the stuff I've done, I know I got to take accountability for it. Like Sunday when I got to handle my stuff, I got to take accountability. I did it, get it over with, and I know with me doing the right thing and having my higher power with me now, whatever happens, it's gonna benefit me in the long run. Like I may not like it right now, but as long as I stay on the path I'm on, I'm gonna have a good outcome of it. Because like I said, my way of thinking and my decision making did not work. So I knew
Yeah.
I had to do something else. But like I said, I'm still in the shock stage though. Like I still can't believe that I sit in the house every day. I only leave to go to meetings. I don't do any drugs. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do nothing. And it's just like, this is just, it's cool. But sometimes I'm shocked, especially when I get stressed out. I'm like, man, blunt sounds really good right now, but not gonna
Yeah.
do it. But
Yeah.
that's my sick mind and my disease, and I feel like I'm always going to have, like, I don't feel like there's no full cure for that disease, because if I stop with my meetings, it's eventually just going to come back. So I know I personally am going to have to keep going to meetings for I don't know how long. Once I hit my 15 or something, I'm still going to need my meetings,
Yeah.
just because of how sick and how bad my disease was. It was bad.
Yeah.
I'm just really glad that I was one of the few people that actually got to come out of it. Because we've lost a whole lot of people in their addiction.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
man,
It's been a rough year.
yeah, I'm just like, and the same people I'm running the streets with, they're dead. I was like, that could have been me. You know what I'm saying? And my kids got to deal with their mom being dead because of a drug. No,
Yeah.
I put my kids through enough. But when I was in jail, there was a whole rumor in Jacksonville saying I died of fentanyl. My kids were freaking out. And I feel like that was a sign. If I decided to get back out there, I'll mess around and hit some dope and there's fentanyl in it, I'm dead. Ain't nobody gonna help me.
Yeah.
They're gonna let me die.
Yeah. So, there's I've been wanting to ask you this for a second now since you've been sober. So there's been like so many aliases for you. Let's see. Miss Knock a Fool Out, Miss F around and find out, Miss I Can Make It Happen, Miss Trick Better Have My Money, Miss. I mean, I thought I had a lot of handles, but so In your recovery, how do you identify yourself now, not just by who you are, but the person up in here?
Well, I know I'm not Miss Trick Better Have My Money no more. Um,
Right.
I'm more like Trick Better Go to Meetings.
Yeah. I-
But in my mind frame, like I've always wanted to help people. But even when I was in my addiction, when I had my own house, I fed the hood. I would give places to sleep. I've always wanted to help people. So it's like now that I'm sober, I feel like a lot of people in Jacksonville, they do look up to us. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like once they see us doing right, we could actually save people. And that's about where I'm at now. I want to get far enough in my recovery to where I can go out like you are and try to help people, man, because that's all they need is someone that just really gives a shit. Sorry, that really cares about them. Because I know if you feel like no one cares about you, you're homeless on the street. The only thing you got is dope. That's it. And all them people that are friends, those ain't no. As soon as you fall asleep, they're gonna take your dope sack. That's not a friend, and then help you look for it like you're dumb. Man, I know it was in here, bro. You just had it in your hand. Uh huh. Then when I get to tearing the house up, I'm crazy and I gotta go.
Right, right, right. Well, how does that identification of that stamp that identifies who you are now? Because, like Chat GBT and these other AIs have these things to where you can make a picture of yourself, who you are now, looking at or talking to the person you used to be. So, how would you identify that person? Like, if you had to tell a story in third person about who the old Rayven was, no strings attached, no pulled punches. Honestly, from the bottom of your heart, how would you explain and identify who Rayven was?
I really believe in the end of my addiction. Like I was so far gone that I felt like the devil had a hold of me. Like I felt like I was turning into a demon. Like I really do. Like I felt like I actually was in hell, and I didn't think there was any way out of it. So I feel like if I was to do like a picture type thing, I'd be in the pits of hell with all them other people, and then it's like my hands reaching out to grab myself out of it. Like I still had somewhere in my head, I still had that spot to where I got out of it, and I found it. But I know my last mugshot was so scary; it scared my kids because my kids were like, "Mom, you was possessed." My eyes were black. Like I feel like I really had like some evil in me, man. And now that it's gone, it's just like I can see myself just being in the pits of hell and just you know me pulling myself out. That it was
Okay.
bad.
So, we just started this new year,
Hmm.
fresh start, fresh mindset. So, tell me why, in your words, why this isn't going to be the season of failure. This is going to be the season of recalibration and success for you. How do you know for a fact that you're going to be successful?
Because for one, that's not an option for me, and then for two, it's like it's in your mind, man. If you tell yourself you're going to do better and stick with it, it's going to manifest into that. We have our negative thoughts, but like I said, that's what my meetings are for, and I have a lot like when I had my kids. I put dope before my kids, but now that I'm off of it, and it's like my kids and my meetings and you, like you I already told you, you're my motivation. Seeing you do good just makes me want to do good, and I'm not trying to disappoint you ever, or my kids. So it's like I'm hell bent on doing nothing but better. As much energy as I put into getting high, if I put in that same energy to stay sober, I ain't got no choice but to succeed. I don't. Like, I put a lot of energy into getting high. Like, I should have got a W-2 for that stuff because I was full time, never missed a day, never asked for a day off, didn't want paid time off. I was in it. So it's like,
Miss
so
no days off, huh? Miss no
none.
days off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
it's kind
just
of
when
like
y'all was sleeping, I'm up. I'm here. I'm right here. I got you.
I understand that when I'm at work, which is funny too, because people ask me sometimes, what's it like? I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, well, first they always ask me two questions. They always ask me, what's it like working at the facility that you have spent given so much of your time, like being detained?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be like, well, it's weird sometimes because, I work at a place that I spent so much time, I should have some, Airbnb stock in it. You know what I mean? Like, I literally, look, you got to understand, I probably got timeshare up in that place.
Right. I mean, we spent so much time there, we might as well be employed there.
So now I find myself in a position, and it sometimes, like you, I catch myself and I'm sitting there in my office and I'm surrounded by people who have the same lived experience that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Incarceration, substance use disorder, mental health trauma.
Yeah.
And, I'm lucky because I don't know the ramifications for saying certain names here on this podcast. So
Yeah.
I'm going to keep them low key. But if anybody knows who I am, they know where I work at and they know the man I work for. And, like you, never really trusted the police. The police were like the blood and the Crips, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We on
We
our
keep it.
side, we don't mess with their side. But
Mm-mm.
I think it was that lifestyle that we were living that kept us separated.
Yeah.
And so people asked me, what's it like working there? And I said, it's like a dream come true. I remember back in September 26th of 2020. You remember when we got arrested, and then I find myself in the program, and then I'm walking out the door in like May of 2021.
Yeah.
And then I go into treatment, and then I get hired by the treatment facility, and then I start working for ACC reentry, and then I get a phone call to come back and work at the same place that I started at that saved my life. And so
Right.
I'm walking around with a name badge. I'm so used to walking in the back door and intake,
Getting their fingerprints.
clinking.
Getting going in the holding
like
cell and all that.
That little piece of paper you got to hold up. But now I find myself with keys.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so like mind-boggling. But then it also steps into the next question. What's it like working with people, that you used to do, your substances with and this lifestyle with? And I always remind people that I'm a peer recovery support specialist. So I work with the people I serve.
Right.
And it was the strangest thing that I never really knew. And I say this with the utmost humility. I don't ever want anybody to think that I'm arrogant, but I never really knew how much sway I had with the people around me.
Mm-hmm.
Like you, Amber, Chaz, you know what I'm saying? Emily, all these
Right.
people, Brandon, Donovan, and all these people, because I guess I'm the youngest of three, so I'm so used to being the baby, but now I'm surrounded by all these people who follow me.
Yeah.
And it's the weirdest thing because I think that's one of the most gratifying things in the world that helps me know that I can't fail, because it's not just me I'm fighting for, it's everyone who's following me. And
Right.
I never want to be the type of example that anybody else can't follow.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I actually have to believe that this year isn't the year of failure, it's the year of success, because there's no other way to do it.
Nope.
There's this guy that I follow. I think he's like who I want to be. And he has this thing that he talks about. It's the story of the guru.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that this guy comes up and asks him, what does it take to be successful? And in my mind, success to me is everything that gets me to where I'm in that rocking chair in that house watching the grandkids and I get to go speak and all this. So I have my definition of success. And he says, okay, Guru says, meet me at the beach at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
The guy's like, I want to learn how to be successful. I don't want to learn how to swim. This dude crazy.
Right.
So he gets out there and he walks out into the water, and the Guru, it's like up, he gets him up to here. And the dude's like, man, I want to learn how to be successful. I'm done with this. And dude's like, I thought you wanted to be successful. He said, I do. He said, come on out here. So they get out there and he like ducks dude's head underwater. And dude's sitting here flapping. And right when dude was about to drown, he let him up. And he asked everybody, he said, when that man was underwater, do you think he wanted to be successful? And dude was like, everybody was like, no, what do you think he wanted? He wanted to breathe. And he said, if you don't want to be successful more than you want to breathe, you won't be successful.
Yeah.
I'm in long-term recovery from substance use disorder. I suffer from childhood trauma and I have post-traumatic stress disorder. So there's 3 things already against me. So success to me is not an option because what's that saying? Everybody has one relapse in them. I don't.
Yeah. Right.
I got a relapse in me. I just may not have another recovery.
Right.
So I have to be successful because if I fail in my recovery, there's only 2 outcomes when it comes to drug use: prison or a coffin. And
Yep.
I am way too sexy for a coffin. And I'm telling you like this, I like nice long showers and I'm not trying to look over my shoulder if I drop the soap. I like loofah and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm good on that lye soap.
And that prison water, you know what I'm saying? That stuff that makes a white person ashy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Makes your hair dry and fall out.
So last question, sis, and I really want you to think about this one. From the people we used to be to the person you were trying to become, what do you see your future looking like? Like, what's your end game?
Well, I want to, eventually, be a peer specialist. I feel like that's something I'd, be good at. And that's another reason, like you said, I don't feel like failing is an option because I know I have to work for that. And I've learned that anything worth having, you have to work for. It's not going to come easy, but I know that if I keep doing what I'm doing and once I hit the part of my recovery I'm supposed to get to, that's going to be like one of my huge accomplishments to where it's like I just feel so much better about myself. So it's like I have the motivation to stay sober, and even when I think about it, I'm like, man, I got a lot of good stuff going on right now with just my 6 months of recovery. I've got a lot of good stuff going on. I have way more stuff than I had, my addiction. But yeah, I see myself, basically following in your footsteps. You know, it's just I'm trying to be like my brother. Because
I,
I just can't wait to be able to step in that place I spent so much time in, and they'll be like, "What?" am I? Yeah. And I feel like when they see that, they're gonna be like, "Oh, Rayven did that. Okay, we're gonna do it." Like,
anything's possible, right? You know
you
what
know
I
how I
mean?
used to be.
Yeah, yeah. That's cool,
I was a
sis.
dedicated criminal.
You used to wake up early in the morning when you finally went to sleep and be like, I'm the first one clocking in to do dirt.
Any dirt better come through me, or it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah. Well, I do want to say this with the utmost care and respect. Baby girl, I am so phenomenally proud of you.
Thank you.
And I really need you to understand how important you are to me and Amber. I need you to understand the person you used to be or who you identified as has no weight in the person that I see right now.
Yeah.
I've always known, like everybody asked me, like, you've always had a seat at this table that I'm trying to build. And I'm so proud of you for seeing the person that you can be, despite all the court stuff, despite all the cloudy shadows that you're gonna be facing. I'm proud of you for standing up with your chin up and
Hmm.
facing it head on. Because when you are in your mode, when you are leading the charge, doing the right thing and doing it for a better reason other than yourself, there
Yeah.
are very few people on this planet that can stop you. That's why I love that I get to sit down when you're in the room now, because we live by example. We lead by example. So
Yeah.
if I'm the person you're following,
Hmm.
I can't wait to see who follows you. You are literally going to change the world, sis, and I am so phenomenally proud of you.
Thank you, brother.
Well, I'm gonna let you get to it. I thank you, sis, for hopping on here today.
You're welcome.
We're gonna do some more good stuff. This is my baby sister Raven. You have a good day, sis.
You too. I love you, brother.
I love you more. So, man, I gotta make sure I message her and thank her for that. It's hard sometimes, especially when you're in recovery, thinking about the person you used to be, because in some people's eyes, that's a scary thing. It's so easy to go back to the person you used to be. It's just, it's all inspiring. So, you all have a blessed and glorious day. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button if you want to, and subscribe if you do too. To the next time, this is Brian Ricks, Broken Chains. Y'all have a blessed day.